When you see things differently, you can be the difference.
How are you?
Capella University.
The 400 metres down below sea level.
At nearly 400 metres below sea level, it is the lowest lake on Earth. The water has a salt content many times more than ocean water, giving it a much higher relative density.
I was sort of chafed from walking.
This means that objects float much higher than normal, as Jim, Tor, and Mark demonstrate here.
This is the Dead Sea, also known in the Bible as the Salt Sea. As you can see at the edge of the lake here, just masses of salt. Because the salt content of the water is so high, as the water evaporates, it leaves behind these enormous salt deposits and huge salt crystals. That's just pure salt coming out of the water.
The lake was once a lush and fertile valley. Large cities flourished nearby. Ron's research led him to locate the ashen remains of Sodom near the southern end of the lake, and nearby the ashen remains of Zoar, still visible after nearly 4,000 years. The distinct square outline of the city is still visible, as this color-enhanced photograph clearly shows. The square shape is what one would expect to find, since ancient cities were often built within a square boundary of defensive walls.
So you have to run from that.
Erosion from wind and rain means that virtually nothing recognizable remains. But these mounds are obviously anomalies, structures destroyed long ago. The best preserved remains found by Ron are below Masada. Masada is the hilltop fortress overlooking the Dead Sea, 434 metres above the lake level.
Are they all along the same line?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay, yep. A little ball, there's a few there. And they're just sitting in the layers of straight ash.
Look at that. That is pure sulphur.
The brimstone has been tested and proves to be extremely pure elemental sulfur combined with small amounts of magnesium.
This will be a really nice sample.
In fact, it's so pure it burns very, very easily, as Aaron demonstrates here.
Oh, that's strong.
The fumes it gives off can be overpowering.
Whoa!
You have to go back to the Bible and check.
Yeah, what would that be?
It's in the Bible that it will be an eternal fire, and here's the proof. It's still burning.
Yeah.
It will be an eternal fire, and here's the proof. It's still burning.
The Bible describes 5 cities that were destroyed, and to the north of the Dead Sea is another of the sites identified by Ron. This one was the city of Admah. Again, the white ashen ruins stand out. The scenario is this: the cities, built of limestone, which is calcium carbonate, had sulfur. The next step was to have these samples analyzed to determine their exact composition.
The X-rays are harder than you want to stand in front of. But bombard the surface and all the atoms then absorb some of that radiation and release it, like fluoresce it at a certain wavelength.
That can be totally crushed in.
Yeah.
No,
It's not. Okay. Can only be a sulfate.
That test showed that the ash was a sulfate, a byproduct of a sulfur reaction, which is what we'd expect. The sulfur from the sites under investigation is the consistency of pressed powder. The sulfur from Gomorrah is distinctly different to sulfur found in geothermal regions. Such as Rotorua in New Zealand.
We'd already begun to sort of scan on 12, 14 scans. here.
Oh, I just came up here.
And this one will just sit here, pumping down, and it's going to come up by converting its intensities into concentration.
The analysis revealed that the brimstone was almost pure elemental sulfur,
Just transpose that
typically about 98%,
colour.
with a measurable amount of magnesium. The white ash is pure calcium sulfate. What stands out is how clean the samples are, with a conspicuous lack of trace elements. This is consistent with ash from an intensely hot furnace, exactly what one would expect to find. From the account in Genesis 19. Is it possible that the Dead Sea sites are the result of geothermal activity?
Sulphur is also found in geothermal areas, such as here, Rotorua in New Zealand. So how does the sulphur here compare with the sulphur we find at the Dead Sea sites? One can smell the sulphur in the air here.
Sulfur. The scenario is this. The cities, built of limestone, which is calcium carbonate, had sulfur and fire rain down upon them. The principal byproduct from this reaction was very pure calcium sulfate.
Is rhombic, very different.
The white color of the sulfur is the result of it being exposed to high temperatures for a period of time, as happened at Gomorrah. The scenario is this.
My name is on the front, but I am more proud of the back. Siggy's Skyr. Less sugar and a lot more protein than leading traditional yogurts. Also, try our thick and creamy plant-based Siggy's.